Expedite, the pre-workout, is designed to really help you get through those moments where you feel a little fatigued. Sometimes your body does get a little tired, it gets a little sore. With this kind of stuff, it picks you right back up.
Shawn, man, hey, great to see you. We got a lot of fights coming up in May. First off, from the shape that you see Andy Ruiz in, and if he's successful against Chris Arreola,
Right.
What happens? Can he challenge the likes of a Joshua, a Fury, and do well?
And I'm going to talk about myself for just a second.
Yeah.
If you take a look at my career, anytime I have had that setback, it didn't take me long to get back into a world championship fight. And I think that Andy's in that same position where he's been there before, and I really do think that it's just a matter of time before he gets right back there. Do I think Chris Arreola is the guy that can do it? If he's as impressive as a lot of people expect him to be, yeah, he's right back there. Especially when you consider everything that he's come from in terms of how he's handled his first loss, how he handled becoming the world champion and all that. It does look like he's turned some corners, and as he has said, I'm not doubting that. But like my dad has always said, the ring will tell the truth. So I think Saturday we'll know the truth about Andy. We'll also know the truth about Chris. And I think that, if Andy is able to pull out a win and do it in a spectacular way, he should be looking at a world championship fight his very next fight.
Andy mentioned to me yesterday that he kind of has his eyes set on Deontay. I told him, man, that's a fucking tremendous fight,
Yeah.
man. What do you make of that?
Well, when you come off of Chris Arreola, who's not an easy fight, and again, we have to see how he wins this fight. I expect him to win, but we'll see how. And if he doesn't, and how. And then I think if he's able to get in the ring with Deontay Wilder, taking on that kind of challenge, you very quickly you go from calling him a fluke or a one and done type of guy, into he potentially could be setting up a legacy career after taking down Chris Arreola and then possibly taking down Deontay Wilder.
Yeah, that'd be a crazy fight, just style-wise, to see it, because you have a guy that's going to come forward in Andy.
Yeah.
And Deontay does well with guys.
Yeah.
Timing them coming forward because
Yeah.
of how long his arms are.
Yeah. I think there was some subtle differences there. And when you think about his fight with Tyson Fury, I think the biggest difference is Tyson was bigger and longer than Andy Ruiz. Andy Ruiz would, I think, be putting himself in a little bit more in harm's way a little more. But he's got the skill, he's got the experience, some of those elements that's required when you're a shorter guy, a smaller guy.
Speaking of the heavyweights, who do you favor in this Fury-Joshua fight, if it does happen?
I'm always going to favor Tyson Fury. I am an advocate of amateur boxing. I think that the amateur boxing system really does mold you. And I think that history shows that, the best world champions at the professional level were Olympic champions, were Olympic caliber fighters
So you mean
as
you're favoring
amateurs.
Joshua then?
No,
Because
sir.
Joshua won the gold medal.
Yeah, he won the gold.
Yeah.
But he didn't have the type of amateur career that Tyson Fury had. I think prior to winning the gold, he had only been boxing just a
not
few
long.
years.
Yeah.
So there's a difference there. Tyson not only grew up doing this sport, but he grew up in that family. I can't think of the name of in that gypsy lifestyle where they basically have fights in the backyard. He told us in the fighter meeting that he spars without a headgear. In his previous fight was his fight with Deontay Wilder was his first time sparring, training with a headgear, but it was because a cut that he sustained in the previous fight. So I mean those type of things are very hard to beat. So I always favor the guys who come from the have a strong amateur background. And I know we're not on this topic, but Jared Anderson will be the next American heavyweight champion.
You're referring to Big Baby.
Big Baby. And he's going to be a heavyweight champion for a long time. I'm not just saying that because he's from Ohio. Again, I take a look at where he comes from, and he has a very strong amateur background. No, he was not an Olympic champion, but He's got everything that it takes. He's got the size to be a heavyweight champion, and I think now it's just the experience as a professional is going to catch up, and he'll be right there.
If the fight doesn't happen, what does that say about boxing?
Well, you're talking about Tyson Fury and
Yeah,
Anthony
Joshua.
Joshua, right? So I'm hearing that fight's dead, and I'm hearing that now the talk is Tyson Fury and Deontay Wilder 3, which I think will be in another.
It's a good fight. It's a good fight.
Yeah.
But we all wanted to see that because it's undisputed. We want
Yeah.
to see an undisputed champion
Yeah.
in any weight class.
Yeah, yeah.
You know?
I think that fight still has the makings to be great. We saw both fights were great, and there's no way that this third one can be great. We have the element of what is Deontay Wilder going to do now, you know? So we saw him drop Tyson Fury, I think, twice in the first fight, and then Tyson Fury just kind of steamrolled him in the second fight. And so, you know, I think this one's up to Deontay Wilder. What are you gonna do? You know, so.
Do you think he should have a tune-up, or do you think he should go right into it?
I would love to see the tune-up. I think that something I didn't even understand when I first turned pro. Everybody was always talking about confidence, and I was like, talking about confidence. I'm a confident guy, you know. But as I grew as a professional, I understood that one fight leads to the next, and if that previous fight didn't go the way you wanted it or needed it to, there could be some debris carrying over, you know. So I think that there's definitely going to be some debris there for Deontay Wilder. I think he needs to get his feet wet, and a good fight back, not an easy fight back, a good fight back. I don't know who will beat on ass.
Yeah. Now, obviously, a lot of people have questioned where he's at mentally because of what happened in the fight. This has never happened to you in terms of you being knocked out, you know. But from what you've talked to your brethren, other fighters that have experienced that, you know, well, what could maybe he be going through confidence-wise?
Well, it's, you know, I said this on the telecast yesterday that it's just how we are as humans. We learn more from suffering than we do from being rewarded, so to speak, you know. So there's always more to gain than the loss. It just is what it is, you know. So I think he's got a lot to gain. I think that, you know, there's a lot of emotional suffering that you go through in a loss, especially a loss like that. And as it's always said, you should come back stronger. So let's expect Deontay Wilder to come back stronger.
You know, I never thought of this. How do you guys take losses?
It's tough.
How is it?
It's tough. Everybody takes loss differently, you know, and like I always say, it's a matter of how you lose. I took getting knocked down in the Ariel Spence fight harder than I took not getting my hand raised. So everybody's different, you know. I have never been knocked out. You know, I know what Deontay, the loss that he had was very hard. You know, it was a very hard loss. So. I'm sure that was a tough one to come back from, and I'm looking forward to seeing him.
Thank you so much for watching this video, and make sure to subscribe for more videos of your favorite fighters over here on Fight Up TV, and give us a follow online as well at Fight Up TV on Twitter and on Instagram. We appreciate it, guys.